Well, good morning. Brother Chad Long here, Delhi Baptist Church. So I hear that Chick-fil-A is temporarily changing their sign, and it will now say, "Eat fewer bats," which I couldn't help but find funny. In other news, the Dallas Cowboys have finally hired some people that can play. They're beefing up their defensive line, using men who are big enough to stop somebody. And for them who don't care about football, there's plenty to be thankful about. I'll tell you what, it's easy to get caught up in the negative, and I've done it too. I don't show it a lot, but sometimes I get to thinking about all the negativity going on. But you know what? It's a new day. God's on the throne, and we're going to be all right. And we're still in Psalm 107. And I'm glad we took our time through this, because if you read over this too quickly, it just kind of takes away from all the good things that are in it. Yesterday we talked about the way that God looks out for mariners, people on the water. I'm a landlubber, so it's hard really to see it from that perspective. I mean, I can't tell you that I've ever been on a boat and the storm hit. So I don't firsthand know what that's like, but I've been hit by other storms, and I was little. Tornadoes were a big thing. I remember being in 1982. I had to be like 3 years old. I remember a tornado hit Paris, Texas, and it was a joke. Okay, it's a joke, but this happened. There was the tornado destroyed a building there called the Sunset. And the Sunset was a bar and grill type of place. It's right there off of Highway 82 in the year 1982 in Paris, Texas. You can look this up. But anyway, the restaurant just across the street from the Sunset was called Bill's Sunriser. And basically, the name kind of leads you to understand it was where you go to wake up, eat a little breakfast, have a cup of coffee, Bill's Sunriser. Well, Bill owned them both. Bill's Sunset, Bill's Sunriser. Anyway, one's a bar and grill, a place to close down at night, and one was a place to eat in the morning. It was like an all-day cafe. Well, anyway, the tornado really did tear down Bill's Sunset. We all thought that was God's judgment on that bar. But what made it so funny was it went over the Sunriser to tear up the Sunset, and everybody made this joke. They said it's the longest tornado in history. It went from sunrise to sunset. So anyway, that won't mean anything to you if you're not from Paris, Texas. But I mean, the point was, I've seen storms. I've seen things that the Lord's brought us through. I remember being carried down into the storm cellar. We had storm cellars in Northeast Texas. Seemed like everybody had one, and we go down in there, and there's nothing in there to do. It's kind of like what's going on now. He's stuck in a house, room, whatever. But I don't want to keep talking about the Wuhan flu. I just want you to know that, well, I may not know what it's like to be a mariner, and I know as I read through verses 23 through 30 there, that was what the reference was. Those that are on the sea, they see the power of God. Their hearts melt within them, and they're scared because of what's coming. But God, He has a way of delivering through the storm, and I've talked about that, preached on that. And even though, I don't know what that's like from being on the water, I do know what it's like just living in this life. So we move on. I'm going to pick up there in verse 29 rather. It says, He maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still. God has power over all storms, whether it be the flu or the economy, the weather. God has control of all storms. He bringeth them out of their distresses. He maketh the storm calm, so that the waves thereof are still. Verse 30 says, Then are they glad, because they be quiet. So He bringeth them unto their desired haven. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for His goodness, and for His wonderful works to the children of men. Let them exalt Him also in the congregation of the people, and praise Him in the assembly of the elders. That means we need to lift him up and exalt him. When's the last time, and I'm asking an honest question, when's the last time you just sat around exalting God, talking about how great he is? Okay, we may say thank God. We may even mention something he's done for us. God's blessed us, he's with us, something along those lines. But I mean, let's be sincere for a minute. When's the last time you just exalted him? Lifted him up, him who only is worthy of it, to be just lifted up and glorified for all the good things. I say this all the time. It's just one example, but I've got 5 children walking around on this planet, and one on the way, one due in July. As far as I know, they are all healthy. They are all doing well. None of them are suffering some terrible disease. None of them are and please don't misunderstand me. I know there's people whose kids are have different things. And I've been to Cook's Hospital in Fort Worth, and I know there's kids there with cancer and all of that. So I'm not saying people don't suffer. That's not my point. My point is that God, I'm going to exalt him for the things he's done for me. I cannot speak for children who are not mine, and my heart goes out to them. So please, if you're one of those, don't think I'm attacking you by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm trying to glorify God for the things he's done for me. It's by his mercy that my children are healthy and doing okay. And that could change tomorrow. He can take them out. They're his anyway. I'm just a steward of them. But he hasn't. Yeah, thus far he's given me good children that are healthy and happy. And I'm just so thankful for that. And that was just an example, maybe not the best one, but these are things that we should be glorifying God for. So anyway, let them exalt him in the congregation of the people. That means in front of folks, in the assembly of the elders. We need to lift God up in front of everybody, not just in our personal, private time. We need to lift him up publicly. And don't be ashamed to do that. Verse 33 says, he turneth rivers into a wilderness and the water springs into dry ground. See, God has the ability to bless us, but making sure we got plenty to eat and drink. He's also got the ability to take those things away, and he's done it in the past. He's been known to stop the rains for multiple years. And he does that based on sin. But watch this. Verse 34 says, a fruitful land into barrenness for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. It's not because he's trying to be mean. Sometimes he just wants our attention. He just wants us to realize who it is that we have to thank for all things. And, what we're going through right now is a picture of this. A fruitful land into barrenness because of the wickedness. I'm going to tell you something. I don't believe God sent the coronavirus on us. I don't think that he's trying to be hateful or ugly. But he knew about it. He knew it was going to happen. And so he has the ability, based on his foreknowledge and power, to use it to get our attention, use it to build our character, use it to teach us a lesson, or to get us to turn back to him. So while it may not be, and I don't believe it is, his tool, he certainly can plan it around what's going on and use it for his honor and glory. It ought to anyway. It ought to wake us up and let us see that we're not as bad as we think we are. We're, and I mean bad in the reverse. We're not. We get awfully high and mighty, awfully easy. And I think sometimes that's what's wrong. We get too big for our britches, and we need to slow down and see that we're not running anything. We're not controlling anything. But he can turn rivers into wilderness. He can turn a fruitful land into barrenness because of the wickedness that dwells therein. He can send it, but I don't think he sent this. I don't believe that's the way that God works as far as sickness goes. Verse 35 says, he turned the wilderness into standing water and dry ground into water springs. That means he can turn wilderness into water and food. In verse 36, there he maketh the hungry to dwell, that they may prepare a city for habitation. I mentioned habitation early on in these devotionals because the Lord can make a place that's uninhabitable habitable. And he can make a place that's habitable uninhabitable. The Lord can flip the script, as we like to say in America. He can turn it all around. He can change it all up. He can do what he wants to do. And while I don't personally believe he sent this virus on us, I think he knew about it and allowed it for his purposes, but I don't believe he did it. But even if he did, who's going to judge him? He's God. And whatever he does is right and just. If you don't like that, that's okay. But you have a right to think whatever you want to think. But at the end of the day, you're not God, and I'm not either. He can do what he wants to do, and we need to be mindful of that. When I was growing up, my parents would tell me to do something, and I'd have the ignorance to say, why? Because I said so. And if your parents ever had that authority, God has it so much the more. It says he maketh the hungry to dwell in verse 36. They may prepare a city for habitation, and sow the fields and plant vineyards, which may yield fruits of increase. Now, I'm going to tell you something. All of Christianity is a picture of life, because we go forth bearing precious seed, and if we do that in earnest and sincerity, the Bible says we'll doubtless come again, bringing our sheep with rejoicing, bringing our sheep with us. And I believe that's another Psalm, 126:6, but don't quote me because my memory is not what it used to be. But it says, sow the fields and plant vineyards, which may yield fruits of increase. Fruits of increase has always been God's intent. But spiritually, how much we get to eat is only a part of that. What it matters is how much fruit we grow. When's the last time you took your personal relationship with Christ and shared it with somebody with the intent of harvesting fruit? Because the average Christian today doesn't think they're supposed to and won't do it. If they talk about God at all, it's in passing. They certainly don't want to expound upon it, and they don't want to try to win a soul. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop here because I want to be able to finish this psalm tomorrow, and I don't want to go any further. But I'll read verse 38, and I'm going to stop there. It says, he blessed them also, so that they are multiplied greatly, and suffereth not their cattle to decrease. It may not be the most interesting place to stop, but I want you to know the latter part of this psalm is reminding us who God is and what he can do. And I want to remind you, this virus don't mean anything. I know people and preachers even who are just going out of their mind. I'm beginning to understand why we always talk about people being bat crap crazy or being batty. We're seeing it, man. People are batty. They're losing it, and I don't know that they all had it to start with. I'm not excited. I'm not scared. I don't care what they do. I only care about the Lord and the people that the Lord has put me here to try to help. I want to see people saved. I want to see lives changed. I want to see God glorified. I want to see Christ exalted. I just want good things. I don't care anything about this negativity, and I hope that you'll be able to see past it and see the good in what God can do and what he's trying to do and how he can use you and me to do it. I hope this helps somebody. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll finish the psalm tomorrow. These are numbered based on the lessons, so you can watch them in order. We'll start over at number 1 with the next series, whatever the Lord puts on the heart. All right, thank you. Y'all enjoy your day.